I recognize that there's a certain expectation that if you go to a room that's marked men, or if you go to a room that's marked women, that you're going to expect that what's on the other side is actually either men or women, and not someone who is identifying as a man or identifying as a woman. I understand that there's a certain expectation of it. But do we really need a specific law to protect us from someone of the other gender? I ask that because I see a much simpler solution. Get rid of gender-specific bathrooms. And I'm not talking about having just a giant free-for-all where everybody goes to the bathroom in the same place. I'm talking about having individual bathrooms, one at a time, one user. Now, it may be a little more expensive for a restaurant or some other place to put in a restaurant like that instead of the giant stalls that they have now. But don't you think that that would be a better solution than trying to pass a law that's going to enforce that you have to use the bathroom or locker room based on your gender assigned at birth, not your gender identity, not how you feel like dressing, not what you feel like on the inside? The reason I ask is that there's legislation, actually an initiative being proposed here in Alaska. It's down there in Anchorage is where it's being put forth, and I think it's specific for Anchorage, but it might be a statewide issue. I'm really uncomfortable with it, and I'm not uncomfortable with it because I'm in favor of having men dressed like women be able to use the same bathroom as a little girl. I'm not in favor of that at all. I'm in favor of complete privacy. You know, if I go to a sporting event outside and there's a whole row of porta potties, they're not men-specific or women-specific porta potties, are they? Each one is an individual use. You go, you stand in the line, you wait your turn. Doesn't matter who's going in before you, who's coming after you, because when you're in there, you're by yourself. Can't we do that? Do we have to have gender-specific bathrooms? Do we have to have a gender police standing out the bathroom to check to make sure that you are of the gender that you say you are? Now, the reason why it's so problematic to me is that there have been no complaints about this in Alaska. I know there have been complaints in some other states, and I understand that there are a number of states that have passed similar legislation requiring people to use the bathroom of their gender on their birth certificate, not what they identify as. I don't like those laws. I really don't. And I guess part of it is that regardless of nature, regardless of what team you play on or what team you want to play on, I don't think that it's a good idea to have these giant places where people are exposing themselves to other people, like locker rooms or whatever else. I like privacy. I think that it'd be a good idea to encourage privacy by having private rooms. Now, is that more expensive? Yes. Does that mean that more places are likely to do away with public bathrooms or public locker rooms? Yes. That's okay, too. I think if you look at the history of the world, that you'll find that generally the public locker rooms are signs of a society's decay and not a sign of progress. Something to consider. I'd love to hear your feedback. Send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com. Thanks.